I created 3 insanely powerful Destiny 2 builds using only exotics you get in your first few hours of gameplay. In this video, I'm going to show you the exotics I used, the aspects and fragments to buy, and if you watch until the end, I'll reveal the 3 exotics you need to get next. Build number 1 is on Warlock, and we're combining Verity's Brow and Sunshot. Verity's exotic perk is the 4th magic. Weapon Final Blows with a weapon matching your subclass grants death throws, which provides a grenade damage bonus and gives you grenade energy. And each stack of death throws is plus 50% to our grenade recharge rate and plus 20% grenade damage per stack. So at the maximum of 5 stacks, we get a humongous 250% to our recharge rate, or a 100% damage bonus to our grenade. Sunshot is a solar hand cannon with the exotic perk Sunblast. Targets defeated by Sunshot explode in solar energy, scorching other nearby targets. And if another nearby enemy catches fire and dies, that counts as a weapon kill. This makes building and maintaining death throws times 5 incredibly easy. Moving on to our subclass, we're gonna need to buy a few things. Let's go shopping. Ugh, not that kind of shopping. Yeah. First, we want to purchase the Fusion Grenade. This little beauty is the secret ingredient, the special sauce, if you will, of the build. Fusion grenades attach to enemies and explode, dealing massive damage and spreading scorch, basically setting our enemies on fire. Alongside this, we need to purchase the Touch of Flame aspect, and now our mini fireballs will explode twice. The second aspect is up to you, but I like Hellion, which gives us a small flaming buddy, capable of lobbing flaming mortars at our enemies. If you don't have this unlocked, try Icarus Dash for a quick in-air dodge. For fragments, we want Torches, Ashes, Singeing, and Empyrean. Torches cause our grenades and Hellion to apply more Scorch stacks, which is important because if we apply 100 of these stacks to a single enemy, boom. Singeing gives us Rift energy when we apply Scorch. Torches makes us radiant with melee hits, which is a 25% damage buff for 8 seconds. And Empyrean allows us to extend that timer on radiant by getting solar weapon or ability kills. For the rest of our kit, buy the Well of Radiance Super. This super gives you insane health regeneration, like 50 HP per second. I also recommend the Incendiary Snap for instant ignitions and a Healing Rift for extra survivability. Lastly, these are our armor mods, and we chose a set that basically does 2 things. 1, make orbs with grenade and weapon kills, and 2, use those orbs to get even more grenades and buff the damage of our solar weapons. If you want to take a look at our mods and maybe try any of these builds, click the dim link in the description below. Our second build is for Hunter. Hunter has always felt best on Void for me. I love the feeling of stalking the battlefield, emerging just long enough for a killing blow, and then vanishing again. And there's one exotic pairing that will help you do that. Graviton Forfeit. You can get this helmet by completing the Into the Abyss questline from Ikora. This exotic is beautiful, and its perk is simple. It increases your invisibility by 2 seconds. That may seem underwhelming, but stay with me, because when we add our aspects and fragments later, the only time you'll be seen by enemies is that moment right before you put a bullet in their brain. Was that too dark? For your subclass, you want to buy the Deadfall Tether Super, Vortex Grenade, and Gambler's Dodge. The Tether Super is a debuff super. It pulls enemies in, weakens them, suppresses them, and slaps them with a 30% debuff. One thing you may not know is that when you tether multiple enemies, doing damage to one of them does damage to the entire group. In the gameplay, I'm shooting one enemy and you'll see damage numbers pop up on every tethered enemy. For aspects, we want Vanishing Step and Stylish Executioner. Vanishing Step allows us to go invisible when we dodge, and Stylish Executioner makes us invisible and gives us wall hacks when we kill weakened or suppressed enemies. For fragments, we want Persistence, Instability, Obscurity, and Cessation. Persistence gives us a 50% increase in invisibility. So no matter how you go invisible, it will now last a full 9 seconds when you combine it with Graviton Forfeit. Instability gives our void weapons volatile rounds when we get a grenade kill. Lastly, obscurity and cessation form a bit of a wombo combo. Finishers grant us invisibility, and getting a finisher creates a burst of void damage that makes nearby enemies volatile. But we can take this invis spamming purple explosion build even further when we add the Graviton Lance. Graviton's perk Cosmology causes enemies we kill to explode and release void projectiles that track enemy targets. So we get a grenade kill to give us volatile rounds, shoot Graviton, and just watch the entire waves of enemies erupt in glorious purple explosions. Just like the Warlock, our mods feed directly into our grenade regen and buffing void weapon damage. Our final build is for Titan, and I'm not joking when I say that this is the best Titan build in the game. No notes. Period. You may be skeptical about that, but I use this build on my solo of both Ghosts of the Deep and Warlord's Ruin, two of Destiny's most difficult dungeons. This build combines the power of Synthoceps and the Tractor Cannon. To get Synthoceps, you need to complete the exotic quest Exalting the Flame from Ikora. Synthoceps' exotic perk Bionic Enhancements gives a 165% melee damage increase when we're surrounded by 3 or more enemies. But to really maximize it, we need a few more things. You can pick any super you'd like, but add the healing grenade for extra survivability, and most importantly, the throwing hammer. This melee is one of a kind because after you use it to hit or kill an enemy, you can pick it back up. There's a short cooldown between picking it up and throwing it, but it is by far the most spammable powered melee in the game. For aspects, we want Roaring Flames and Sol Invictus. Roaring Flames makes defeating enemies with solar abilities increase the damage of our solar abilities. How much damage increase, you say? All the way up to 73% at 3 stacks. Sol Invictus causes little fire pools to drop when we kill scorched enemies or get kills with solar abilities. And standing in these little fires will give us Restoration ×1. And just in case you don't know, Restoration ×1 regenerates your health at a rate of 35 HP per second. For fragments, buy Solus, Torches, Empyrean, and Ashes. Torches makes us radiant when we get powered melee hits. Solus increases the duration of both radiant and restoration. Empyrean allows us to further extend the duration of getting solar weapons or ability final blows. Ashes increase the scorch stacks we apply with our hammer and weapons. Moving along, we have Tractor Cannon, and let me tell you why we chose this exotic. This mega shotgun is a portable debuff machine. Shooting an enemy will instantly suppress them and slap them with a 30% debuff. That's as high a debuff as the Hunter Tether Super we just showed you. So when we run this build, we want to use our hammer basically like our primary weapon. Then, when we spot a big baddie or a champion, shoot them with a Tractor Cannon and spam hammers until it dies. It's simple, you know, as all things should be. If you're up against a boss that you can't hammer or shoot with Tractor Cannon, you can swap to the exotic rocket Dragon's Breath. Dragon's Breath does massive scorching damage and is available to buy here at the Monument to Lost Lights. Speaking of weapons, you should also 100% run an energy weapon with the perk Incandescent. The reason being that when you get a kill, Incandescent makes your enemy explode into fire, which is both cool and synergizes with Sol Invictus. If you're a Titan, you may as well save this build in slot number 1, because after 1,000 hours on my Titan alone, I can tell you, this build is the real deal. Finally, it's time to reveal the 3 exotics that you need to get next. First, for Warlocks, Sunbracers. There is literally no better exotic on Solar for controlling mass amounts of adds. Get a melee kill, and for 4 seconds, get unlimited solar grenades. And yes, it is as awesome as it sounds. Rock this with the Monte Carlo and you are just cooking through everything. Second, Gear Falcon's Hauberk for Hunters. This chest piece gives you volatile rounds for your void weapons for 9 seconds after you come out of invisibility. And when you get a finisher while you're invisible, you'll give any teammates within 24 meters a reserve overshield. This is a direct upgrade to Graviton Forfeit. With volatile rounds coming straight from our exotic now, we can swap out Echo of Instability for a different fragment like Echo of Undermining, which causes our grenades to weaken enemies. Lastly, Titans, Heart of Inmost Light. When you use an ability, it empowers the other two abilities. Empowered means faster ability regen and damage for about 5 seconds. Besides Synthoceps, this is by far my most used Titan exotic. We even showcased this exotic in our recent overview of Prismatic. That's it for this video. If you want more Destiny build videos like this one, subscribe to our channel and watch one of these videos next.